I really appreciate you all being here today, and we are very excited to welcome you to the Paris and the Menifee Chambers of Commerce Student of the Month program. I think this is a little high. No, I don't do this stuff.
Oh, but you did it well.
Hello.
It's perfect.
Maybe he can come in and just have a lot of little noise, feedback, yes. We are just so excited to have you all here today, and I will do my very best to make sure that you all can hear me. I'm Sally Myers, and I am the founder of the Paris and the Menifee Valley Chambers of Commerce Student of the Month program, and want to welcome you all here today. We are going to have an outstanding time together of just fellowship, enjoying a meal over the great accolades and accomplishments of the students that we have here in the room on how they have truly made a difference. And as we begin, two of the most important things of our Student of the Month program is our prayer and our Pledge of Allegiance. So I'd like to ask Pastor Ted to come forward, and he's going to lead us in our prayer. And our Mayor Darrell Bush of the City of Paris will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you all would please stand, that would be outstanding. Thank you.
If you'll please pray with me. Heavenly Father, we're just thankful that we are now about 2 months into the school year, that you have been watching over these students. We thank you, Lord, for the fact that we can have such a great educational system in this community. We thank you, Lord, for the teachers and the administrators that you've given, and for the opportunities that these young people have and how they've used those opportunities wisely. Lord, we just thank you for this time, for this food, and Lord, may you be glorified through everything that is said. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Stay right here.
Okay, I'll stay right here.
Everyone, please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Use your cheerleading voice today.
Yes, I do have a cheerleading voice. Yes. So we're going to be receiving our meals, and one of the great things about Student of the Month is we're like the rest of you, we multitask. So we get to eat and enjoy all at the same time. So I'd like to ask all of our parents and grandparents just to raise your hands for a minute so we can all see who you are. Raise your hands high, family members, because the mission statement of our program is very important, because that is how your son or daughter was selected to be a Student of the Month. And I'd like to share that with you. So the Student of the Month program, as you can see, is a local high school recognition program, but your son or daughter has been selected on their character, their love of learning, their ability to be able to juggle numerous activities between their campus, from their community, various sports events and things of that nature, or the ability to persevere through very challenging life circumstances, all in a setting that honors God, our country, community, family, and free enterprise. So that is what our program is about. It's not a student that has a mile-long list of community service hours, which is great, or the best grades on campus, which is also great, but it's a student that truly makes a difference. It's a student that stands out, a student that has a passion that has demonstrated their commitment and their passion for something very special, whether it be on their campus, whether it be in their family or in their community. But you're here today because you truly make a difference, and you have been noticed by the other folks on your campus, your teachers, your faculty members. They have noticed you. So that's why you are here today. You are truly set apart from others. And so we are so excited about that. I'd like to introduce all of our students and families today, so that way everybody in the room knows who you are. So from Paloma Valley High School, and our principal, and it's a second time being here at Student of the Month, representing Paloma Valley High School as our newest principal, and that is Don Williamson. So Don, if you want to stand, please. And your student is Jared Alexander Mickley. And Jared, if your family and all your family that you brought with you today could please stand. Grandparents, we love grandparents. Thank you. And from Paris High School, our principal is Dr. Lynn Sheffield, and our student is Daniel Ryan Van Patten. And your family, if you would all please stand and guess. Daniel, is it actually Ryan or Ryan? How do you?
It is Ryan.
Ryan. Okay, all right. Just want to make sure that I had it right. And from Paris Lake High School, our principal is Dr. Narciso Iglesias, and our student is Stephen Price Anderson II, and all of your family and special guests. Please stand. Welcome. From Heritage High School, our principal, Julie Zerold, in this wonderful fall orange sweater. I just love it. And our student is Melissa Quijada, and all of your family and guests, please. These are our students and families, and we are just so excited and proud of you. I would now like to invite forward our chamber representatives. We have with us today Aaron Rockman, who is the chairman of the board for the Menifee Valley Chamber of Commerce. If you would come forward, Aaron, as well as Grant Bennett, who is the president of the Paris Valley Chamber of Commerce. And Grant, the certificate's right here, and you two gentlemen are welcome to share to the students. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally. On behalf of the Paris Valley Chamber of Commerce, we would like to congratulate all the students for this great accomplishment, being picked by your school as Student of the Month. 1 out of 25, 26, 2,700 kids is very impressive. But also congratulations need to go to the families also. Without the support of the families, they wouldn't be here today to reach these goals that they've set for themselves. The Chamber would like to present to you both the Paris and Menifee Chamber of Commerce a certificate in your honor, and it's in gold because that's what the chambers think of you, as being solid gold. We also would want to invite you back to our communities when you finish your high school career and then into college. Come back and be part of our communities. Make Paris, Menifee both better places to be for the kids that are going to follow you. So again, congratulations. I'm going to turn it over to Aaron.
I just want to say congratulations to all the students. Welcome back. Come back after your high school and college careers are over. Come be a business owner like myself in Menifee, and make the city of Menifee and Paris proud.
Outstanding. Thank you very much. Now, Aaron, you said you're a business owner. What business do you have?
My business is called Feeling Lucky Entertainment. I do casino parties. I just recently did last weekend the Menifee Mayor's Ball for Mr. Stone.
Outstanding. Very, very well. And I know, Grant, you are also a wonderful member of our community with working with the school district and with the Paris Chamber of Commerce, and the Rotary Club. So thank you. It just shows you how they all get involved, and they wear numerous hats in the community, and they are great leaders and examples for all of us. I'd like to thank our volunteers, and as all of you know, that any organization, we're only as good as the people that we surround ourselves. And sometimes I like to use the word inner circle. John Maxwell, who's a mentor of ours, uses that word inner circle, and I consider the volunteers part of the inner circle of the Student of the Month program. And I'd like to introduce them to you now. Our chairs are Lori Ortel and Sarah Rico from the Paris Union High School District. So ladies, raise your hand high. And if you ask me what they do, I'm going to tell you everything. They pull it all together, so they're just fabulous. And thank you, Dr. Greenberg. They're wonderful, wonderful. Our scholarship administrators are Carrie Zamora and Andrea Donahue, and they're unable to be here, but they work behind the scenes to send out the scholarships to all of our students after our Student of the Year event, which is always in May. Our accountant is here, which is Kim Garcia from KSG and Associates. So Kim, please raise your hand, and she makes sure that all of our books and everything are just right and balances to the penny. So thank you so much for that. And on when I am out of town, our MC that speaks on my behalf is our superintendent, Dr. Jonathan Greenberg. So thank you very much. He's always just a phone call or an email away to say, yes, I'll be there. I'll take care of it for you, Sally. And folks that help us out with development, which really means helping us raise a few extra dollars for our program and scholarships and bring in gift certificates for the students. I always like to thank our Mayor Daryl Bush from the City of Paris, and of course Dorothy Wallens from the Menifee Chamber of Commerce. So thank you two for continuing to do that for us. We really appreciate it. And of course our wonderful Sizzler servers, and so I always like to give them a great round of applause as well. So let's say thank you to all of them. We have two of our Paris Union High School school district board members with us today, and I'd like you to meet our president, Mr. Bill Holstrom. So if you want to raise your hand high, please. Thank you very much. And our vice president, Joan Cooley. So Miss Joan, thank you very much. And it's really nice to be able to have our board members attend our program, because that sends a loud and clear message that they care. They care about you. They want to learn what you are doing and how you are making a difference in our community. And trust me, they do go back and they share to the other board members, and they share with those people that they're involved with in the community about what you have accomplished and just the greatness that you have achieved thus far in your very young life still. So this is exciting. So I'd now like to introduce our lunch sponsors. As you know, all of you are receiving lunch today, and it is due to the generosity of a number of our sponsors. If you take your program and you open it up on the inside, on the left page, it says meal sponsors. Those are all of the businesses that provide meals to our program. And as you can see, we have parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, all of our sponsors. So their generosity is really to be marveled. So thank you very much. I'd like to introduce those that are here. We have Karina Chum with Altera Credit Union. And just a little note about Miss Karina. She has officially started the Hemet and the San Jacinto Student of the Month program. One of the first ones that have been started like ours in several years. And she's also the MC. And I heard that your first one in September was wonderful. So we are so excited to know that what we have started here is continuing on in other communities. So that's just awesome. And we also have Virginia Figueredo from the Bank of Hemet. Miss Virginia, thank you. And our Mayor, Scott Mann from the City of Menifee. Thank you, Scott. And from the City of Paris, our Mayor Daryl Bush. I don't know why that was all coming together in one word. But thank you very much, Daryl. We appreciate it. And we have our council member, Julio Rodriguez. Is he with us today? There you are. How are you? And a former student of the month. So we always like to have you here. It's a great example to have our young folks with us, showing how they continue to give back, as well as Judy Hani. Where's Miss Judy? Judy's not here today. Okay. And our county supervisor, Marion Ashley. We have Barry Bush with us. So thank you, Barry. As well as Nicole Moore with CRNR. And we have with us Cyndia Vasquez from Lowe's Paris Regional Distribution Center. Miss Cindy, raise your hand. Hi, Cindy, so everyone can see you. Got that cute smile. From the Paris Union High School District, you have met our superintendent, Dr. Jonathan Greenberg. You've met Lori Ortel and Sarah Rico. We have Candace Rains in the back over here, Miss Candace. Steve Schwartz, raise your hand high. And of course, Tanya Davis and Marcy Savage. So thank you all so much for being here. Great support from our school district. From the Riverside County Office of Education, do I have a representative today?
That would be me.
You are them. Okay, wonderful. We like that. From the Rotary Club of Paris, we said Grant Bennett. Any other Rotarians from Paris? Rotary, raise your hands high. All right, there we go. And of course, Sizzler. And we have Maria Caparis from Vestera Credit Union. Hello, Miss Maria. So let's give them all a great round of applause. Thank you. Students and families, I say this with great excitement. You have the opportunity to receive a $1,720 scholarship right now. And you will be competing with all of the other students of the month from your school. And what will happen is in the springtime, early spring, Sarah and Lori will be providing scholarship applications. So it is a competitive process to your schools for each of our Student of the Month winners. And you will complete that scholarship application, hopefully in great detail, because it is through that great detail and sharing that you are selected. And the judges are those from the community, from the Chambers of Commerce. And I will tell you, it is an amazing process to go through. What we learn about all of our Students of the Month from all those essays and things of that nature. So please take time now to start keeping track of everything that you do, because you're going to want to write it all down on this application. And we have special sponsors that actually contribute the scholarship dollars so that you can have that wonderful opportunity to go off to college and be able to give your parents a little bit of a break because you earned your scholarship. I'd like to introduce those folks that are here. And again, when you open your program, you will see all of our scholarship sponsors. They are actually on the very last page, on the back page, and it lists their names and what they contribute. And we take all these dollars and we divide it evenly between our students of the year. And that's how we come up with our scholarship award. So those that are here today, we have the Menifee Valley Chamber of Commerce. So thank you, Miss Dorothy and Aaron. And we have the Paris Union Management Association with Grant Bennett. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. The Rotary Club of Menifee. I know we have several Rotarians of Menifee in the room, so thank you for that. International Autocrafters, Fred Gooden Associates, Paris Plaza, and the Corders Family Limited Partnership, where the business that was the business that actually started our scholarship program. We have Star Milling and WLC Architects. So let's give them a great round of applause. If you win the Student of the Year title, we're going to have a special dinner. It'll be at the Storm Stadium. Well, actually not at the stadium, but it will be at their very nice restaurant over in Lake Elsinore. It'll be in May, and I think it's on my anniversary again. I love that. And you will receive some special gifts and a lot of accolades, and you'll receive some gifts from our council member, Mark Yarborough, from Costco in Lake Elsinore, and just some special goodies from Fold Flop. So other businesses step up to the plate too and say, we're going to give you some extra goodies, and sometimes they just show up and then you come home with extra bags of things. So it's very, very exciting. I would now like to introduce all of our dignitaries. One of the greatest things about our program is the fact that we have our local, our county, and our state, and even our federal dignitary representatives here, because they care about you too, and they like to hear about your accomplishments. So they have approximately 30 seconds or so to be able to share and be able to welcome you to our event today. And I'm going to introduce them, and they're going to speak in this same order. And your certificates are right over here to grab a certificate, show it off, and then I'll put them in the bag when you're finished. So these are our dignitaries today. From the city of Paris, we have Mayor Darrell Bush, and we also have Councilman Julio Rodriguez. From the city of Menifee, we have our Mayor Scott Mann. From our Assemblywoman Melissa Melendez's office, we have Kristen Fuller, and one of our recently college graduates who is a intern with the Assemblywoman, Irving Alejo. We have County Supervisor Marion Ashley with Barry Bush. You all are welcome to come forward as I call your name. From the U.S. Congressman Mark Takano's office, we're very excited to have Maricela Megana, is that correct? Who is also a graduate from our community. So that is a great example of a person that comes and gives back. And representing Senator Richard Roth, the Riverside County Office of Education, and of course, our school district, our superintendent, Dr. Jonathan Greenberg. So you all are welcome to begin. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon. I try and use the microphone. I don't have a cheerleading voice. So I'm here on behalf of the city of Paris and City Council, and we want to congratulate all the students for their achievement. We have a certificate here for you. They'll tell you more about certificates and the importance of these certificates as you proceed on, especially when you start filling out your college applications, everything. These become an important part of your application that you want to include. But I want to congratulate the students, but also the parents and the families, because it's not, sometimes the parents, the families, brothers, sisters, and other relatives that make a difference and help you get to where you've gotten. And so remember that as you proceed on, and congratulations to you at this time. Mr. Rodriguez.
Hi everybody, again congratulations to the four of you. I'm on the city council here in the city of Paris, and I'm a former PHS grad, class of 2003. And my message to you is that we talk a lot about coming back to our communities, but I want you to really think about it, because while a lot of progress has been made here, there is so much more that can be done, and it's going to be thanks to the leadership of the mayor. The mayor signed my Student of the Year award, and I still have that. And Grant Bennett signed my diploma, and so again, that's congratulations. But remember that remember Little Paris. Remember where you came from. Remember to go do great big things and then come back. Okay, thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's my high honor to be here. This is the first time I've been on this side of the podium to recognize high achievers such as yourself. I've been involved in the Student of the Month program behind the scenes a few years ago when I was part of the Wildemar Chamber and ran the Wildemar Chamber. We too have certificates on behalf of the entire City Council and on behalf of the City of Menifee. We want to congratulate each one of you on your achievements, and to echo what Mayor Bush said, congratulations also to the families, because with a strong support system at home, that's when you can really achieve high heights, and apparently you've already done that, so keep it up. I want to encourage something that Grant and Aaron said a moment ago. I enlisted right out of in the Navy right out of high school, and I spent 25 years in the military, and I retired as an officer. And from there, I went to work for a company that places junior executives in Fortune 500 companies. And then I went to work for a construction company, then a school district, and now I own my own business. And I share that story with you because I know that you're all high achievers in the classroom, that you have dreams of going on and doing good things in college, and that's great. If you go on to college, when you get done with college, come back to the community, establish a business. And if you don't go on to college, we have in America today, we have holes in our employment fields. We need people to be welders and electricians and linemen and plumbers, and you can have a great life in those technical fields and those vocational fields. So whatever it is, the way to grow wealth for yourself in America today is to create your own business and do it better than the next person that you're competing with. So whatever your field of industry you decide to go into, come back, or wherever you're going to live, create your own business, because that's where it's at and that's the flexibility. I encourage you all to do that. Congratulations to each one of you.
Good afternoon. My name is Kristen Fuller, and I'm here on behalf of State Assemblywoman Melissa Melendez, and she would like to congratulate all of you guys for your amazing achievement. This is really it's really nice to see these kind of things happening, and it's really nice to see our youth accomplishing such great things. So I really want to thank the parents and the families of the students for raising such great kids, for the teachers, the principals, for being good examples to these students. You guys are facing a really rough world out there, and everything is just against you. So I just want to encourage you guys to keep doing what you're doing. Don't give up, and don't let anybody ever tell you that you cannot accomplish what you want to accomplish. And so all of you will be receiving a certificate from the Assemblywoman, and that's it. So congratulations. Thank you.
Hello, it's a great pleasure to be here with all of you outstanding students and family that support these outstanding students. On behalf of the Office of Congressman Mark Takano, we would like to present to you a congressional certificate, and we are here in support of you and your hard work and dedication. And don't forget to include these on any college resumes and whatnot, so it looks pretty cool to have a certificate of these kinds on your award. So I am also a Paris High School graduate alumni 2008, so hopefully you guys do come back to our community and give back. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. My name is Barry Bush. On behalf of Supervisor Marion Ashley, I also have a neat certificate. As the Mayor Scott mentioned, being on this side of the microphone, this is the only time I ever got to come to Student of the Month. Well, my daughter was Student of the Month, but that's another story in itself. But no, we are all very proud of you. Yes, Dad.
Come one other time when your daughter was Student of the
I just said that. You have to forgive me. That's my father. He's a little hard of hearing. He doesn't hear me when I speak. He hears everybody else, but he doesn't hear me.
I'm proud of her. I want her.
Yeah, but she was Student of the Month in 2009. So, but and my boss is very proud of you, Supervisor Marion Ashley. He graduated from Paris High. I'm not going to tell you what year, but he is 78 years old, and the guy can play some serious golf still. But on behalf of Supervisor Marion Ashley, we're proud of you. We think highly of you. We want you to continue striving, have a great school year, and do us one other favor. Have fun and be safe, okay?
Good afternoon, everyone. I first get to represent, I got to get my certificates. I first get to represent Senator Richard Roth, our new state senator, and he or his representative could not be here, but you can see the state senate puts out a really nice certificate here for all of our students, and on behalf of the senator, congratulations. And also, I'm representing the Riverside County Office of Education, County Superintendent Ken Young, and his representative could not be here, but they have a really cool one with this little gold seal here. All right, we're trying to show delineations between certificates, but again, on behalf of County Superintendent Ken Young, congratulations as well. So now I get to speak as superintendent of the school district, and first of all, I would tell you we're very proud of your achievements. We're proud of your family supporting you, but I have to tell you, I am so proud to be in a school district where our employees, our teachers, our classified employees, and our administrators are doing everything to make sure our students get the best possible education. And a little commercial message, we are the first school district in Riverside County to have every student in our school district, every student, have technology in their hands, because their future, whether they go to college, they go into the service, or the world of work, involves technology. Technology cannot be separated from instruction and assessment. And we are by far the leaders in that. And I thank our board for having the vision to push us forward in that regard. And I thank our teachers for making those devices come alive every day in the classroom for our students. So now, as superintendent, I get to lecture you a little bit, students, on these things. These are called thank you notes. Okay, a relic of the 1960s and 1950s, but still around today. And the importance of this is that we're going to give you a list in your bag of all the people that made this event happen and continue to make this event happen in some difficult, very difficult times in terms of the economy in our country. So what you need to do is write a thank you note, and that's not one sentence, okay? It doesn't need to be a 5-paragraph essay. And you can't do it on your Chromebook, and you can't text it. Okay, you actually have to do old school and write it. But when you do, and you put it in the envelope, and you put the address, get it to your principal. They'll send it down to the district, and we'll be happy to pay for the postage. But again, as you continue to be successful in life, you need to share that and know that you didn't do it by yourself. You did it with the help of others, and we, again, are very thankful to be in a community that supports this event to the extent that they do. So, I think that that's about it, other than saying, again, congratulations. And remember, Barry Bush usually says this, and he didn't say it today. You need to.
Like my dad, you can't hear either?
Yeah. I do have hearing aids, but I didn't hear you say it. And that is, remember now, you are tops. I mean, there's only been one other student of the month for the 13-14 school year. So when you go back to school, you can put your shoulders back, stand a little straighter. We could get you a signed student of the month, but I'm afraid you might get kicked from behind. But certainly it's something to be very proud of, and we're very proud of your achievement. Congratulations.
That is outstanding. Thank you so much. I'd like to call your attention to our gift table, and as you can see, it's just a lot of fun. We've got some great bags. The Pepsi bags have all kinds of gift certificates in it for you to go around town, and if you open up your program on the inside right page, you're going to see listed in black all the businesses, and then in red what they have actually donated to you. And so it's just a lot of fun, and we have some of our gift sponsors with us here today. Of course, the City of Menifee and our Mayor Scott Mann. He brought in these nice black bags over here, and they're full of all kinds of goodies that you'll be able to enjoy with the City of Menifee. And we have from the City of Paris an umbrella, which was actually this morning. That was the perfect thing. We all needed the umbrella this morning. So you'll definitely enjoy having the umbrella because our rainy season, it looks like it's starting to come upon us. And from International Auto Crafters, Harry Ryan could not be here today, but I'll tell you, they're just such a great company. They put together in their gift bag with the little stripes on it a engraved plaque for you, which is neat. And then he has something called an accident kit, which is great to have in your car in the event, which we praise God that nothing will ever happen. But in case something happen, it tells you what you need to do in case of any sort of accident. And then a bunch of sweets. So he has a bunch of fun things for you to enjoy in there. And of course, you've got goodies from New York's Upper Crust Pizza and Whimsical Yogurt and Gelato. From Vestera Credit Union, you've got a flash drive, so thank you very much. From Altura Credit Union, you've got a gift over here, as well as some special tickets, either grad night tickets or prom tickets from your schools, and they will be the ones that will give those to you. And from the Paris Union High School District, you have some movie tickets, which will be a lot of fun. And also, what the school district does is they are videotaping today's event, and they will provide a complimentary DVD, and they will make sure that that gets into each of your hands so that you will have that to be able to share with the rest of your family and friends that were not able to attend. And then through the generosity of the city of Paris, it is aired on Time Warner Cable Television, and then everyone in the community has the opportunity to watch it too. So that is just great. So, oh, you know what? I want to say there's a Bible here from Pastor Ted as well, and Pastor Ted is right over here, so thank you very much. So you will enjoy taking your gift bag home and just having a lot of fun with all that. So let's give everyone a great round of applause. We're now going to move right into the part that y'all have been waiting for. I know the families and our students, your opportunity to be able to share and talk a little bit about your accomplishments and how you truly make a difference in our community. We have just an opportunity just to really be able to share some great examples of character for each of our students. So the way it's going to work, we're going to call up one school at a time, and the order is the order that we have on the front of our program. So we'll begin with Paloma Valley High, and we will end with Heritage High, and then each principal, when you can conclude all of your remarks as a group up here, then you'll invite the next principal and school forward. So the order that we will go in as far as the agenda, the principal will speak first for about a minute. The teacher will speak for about a minute. Students, you have about 2.5 minutes. And that might not sound like much time, or maybe you might think it sounds like too much time, but trust me, it goes by really fast. And this is where you have the opportunity to introduce your family and guests by their name, introduce your mentor teacher that you have brought with you, share a little bit about your college and career goals, and then a little bit about your current life on campus. So that's how we're going to learn a little bit more about you. And then we're going to ask you to answer one or more of these questions. And they are, what do you believe is your greatest contribution to your community, school, or family? What do you think is the most significant life lesson that you will take to college? Or how do you plan on giving back to the community or paying it forward? Or the final question, share a personal story that demonstrates an obstacle that you have overcome. So you can select any one or more of those. And when you start to answer that part of the question, we would really like it if you could say, an obstacle I have overcome is, or the greatest lesson I have learned thus far is. That way then I won't have to come up and say, now tell me, let's go back and make sure we cover these, because we're going to get all this covered, okay? And so the way that, I also want to make sure that everybody saves a dry corner of their napkin, because we do sometimes share some tears of joy. And I will tell you, for the family, it's very important that one family member speaks. And when you come up here, we're going to have the principal and the teacher on this side of the podium, and we'll have the student right here, and then the family alongside here. So you're not going to be leaning up against the counter, but you'll be standing right here. And when the first group comes up, I'll kind of put you all together, and that way there'll be a great example for the next group. And this is a time, students, to really share from your heart. If you have prepared notes, that's great. If you decide you want to add to those notes, go right ahead. But this is a time where we truly just enjoy hearing from you and hearing and learning all about you. So with that, let's begin with Don Williamson and Paloma Valley High School. So come on up, the entire family and our students. And the reason we have you all huddled together is we want to make sure that everybody is covered on the television too. Okay, Jared, let's put you right over here. U.S. Marines, I like that. Okay, so I want you right here, close by. Kind of come forward up here. I want you up here. Want to see everybody. Want you this way. You stay in good shape. Okay. I mean, I can't move in. Okay. All right, that looks good. Okay, that's how everybody does it. Okay, there we go.
Well, good afternoon, and thanks everybody for coming. I'd like to thank all the sponsors and Sally and everybody for putting this together. Also, I'd like to thank the camera crew from Paloma Valley High School for providing the video. Today, it's my distinct honor to introduce one of our students, Jared Mickley. When I got the recommendation from Master Sergeant Puebla, I'll be honest, I read this and I thought, well, I don't have to go any further. You know, he did such a great job of putting together reasons why Jared should be our Student of the Month. And let me just go over a couple of those. Jared was on the WASP committee for 2 years. He was on the Gate Club member for 3 years. He was a president of the Creative Writing Club for 2 years. He participated on the track team and cross-country team. He was an NJROTC cadet leader for 3 years, National Honor Society, California Scholarship Federation member. He's done over 150 hours of volunteer community service. He's participated in 3 consecutive Relay for Life community service totaling over 100 hours. And he's presented for national and organizational colors during multiple city events such as road opening ceremonies, National Prayer Day, and our high school graduation. You know, I had a chance to visit with Jared a little bit, and I'll tell you what, this is a young man who is focused. He knows where he wants to go, and he has a roadmap to get there. And that is just a lesson that we all should learn from. I'd like Master Sergeant Puebla to go ahead and say a few words before we introduce Jared. So, Master Sergeant.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say that it is a distinct honor and pleasure to have this opportunity to share with you some of the impressions that I've got on this leader of ours at Paloma Valley. You know, in the Marine Corps, one of the things they teach us when we're trying to develop our younger troops to assume greater responsibility is that the biggest lesson or the biggest thing that you can take away from teaching the next generation is by your example. When you lead by example, it speaks more loudly than any words could actually speak. And that's exactly what Mr. Mickley has done there at the ROTC program for us since I've been aboard. This is my 3rd year, and consecutively he's led by example. He's a member of every single competing team that we have in NJROTC, and we have 7 different teams. But it doesn't stop there. He leads by example academically with over a 4.0 GPA. Physical fitness, he is in the top 3 of over 215 cadets that we have in our program. He's in the top 3 in physical fitness. Military parents, amazing. And I gotta say that when it comes to the future of America, as far as leadership is concerned, one of our things that we talk about and we think about is that everything rises and falls with leadership. And speaking to the crowd here, I'm sure that you understand what I'm talking about when we're talking about leadership. Thus, our battalion is at a level it's never been. And dare I say it's because of this young man's leadership. Mr. Jared Mickley, I'm very proud of you, sir. Thanks, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. As you already know, my name is Jared Mickley, and I'm Paloma Valley High School's Student of the Month. Standing next to me are my grandparents, Ruth and John Watson, my mom, Mindy Panzera, my sister, Whitney Reese. After high school, I plan on going into the Marine Corps. After college, I'm currently applying to the Naval Academy, United States Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland, and also the UC San Diego. So either way, I plan on going to college and then going into the Marine Corps afterward. All right. Throughout high school, I've met outstanding leaders such as Master Sergeant Puebla and my past NJROTC instructor, which was First Sergeant Barnes, and a good friend of mine, Cameron Lyons. They've really made me who I am today. Without them, I really wouldn't be anything. And also, NJROTC's become my life. Like, even from my freshman year, I fell in love with it, and it really changed my life at basic leadership training at Chaparral High School my freshman year. And although I could go on for hours about that event, it was a weekend long of teaching me. From waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to having drill instructors yell in my face to tell me to do more than what I thought was my best already. It changed me in the way I thought, and it showed me different things towards success, whether it be professionalism, whether it be self-discipline and humility, all of that. It showed me that just my best is what success really is, and that's what I want to pass on to my cadets. Each one of them can do whatever they want in life. It's up to them to break past the barriers that they've put on themselves, and that's all it is. It's just making yourself believe that you can do something. And along those lines, it kind of showed me that, while I want to show them what they're supposed to do, I need to appreciate the people that have put me in that mindset. So I'd like to thank, my grandparents for being there for me, just emotional support throughout the years. My mom and my sister, making me not accept anything less than my best. And then, Master Sergeant Puebla and my First Sergeant Barnes and Cameron Lyons, they are the perfect examples of leadership that I've wanted to model myself after. And that's really what's made me me. And also I'd like to thank all the sponsors here that recognize all the hard work that students are doing.
I jotted down some notes because public speaking has never been what I am good at. Jared's been a blessing to me. Both of my children have been a blessing. You never know what your children are capable of until they show you, and then they push and they do more and they exceed what you expect from them. When Jared was in kindergarten, we had a set of flashcards and we were trying to teach him letters and things like that. And he was the most stubborn, he didn't want to learn. And I thought, oh, this is going to be a challenge for the next 18 plus years to get him on the page of what he has to do. And then there was a breakthrough and he decided he was going to do it. And ever since then, he has chosen to do it. And it's the self-discipline that I appreciate in him, because without that, I don't think he'd be successful. And then I also want to say that kids are so resilient, because no matter how I go about my life or, get involved to help mess it up, his life, he's able to do what he wants to do in a positive way. And I think my job as a parent is to instruct him and support him and correct him and give him the perspective that he can contribute positively in the future. And so that's where we're at. I'm so proud of you. You have no idea. And I hope that you continue to push through the end and get to what you want in the future.
At this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Lynn Sheffield in Paris High School.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here this afternoon. And I'm here to introduce to you Mr. Daniel Ryan Van Patten, a wonderful young man, and I was real excited to see that he was nominated to be Student of the Month. He is a young man that exudes leadership and service at Paris High School, and I think as well as in our community. As you see, he's in our NJROTC program at Okay. our JROTC, JROTC program. He's the second in command at the school. He's doing wonderful things. If you visited our campus, you might have run into him representing our school, leading you or guiding you somewhere. Also, he is one of our leaders in our FFA program. And again, he's one of the representatives in their group of leaders in FFA. He's going to be moving on in a couple of weeks to represent Paris High School at the National FFA Convention in Louisville, Kentucky. So I'm real excited to see them bring back the championship. I'm sure they can do that. But this is a wonderful young man. I'm going to introduce Mr. Aaron Nearing, one of his teachers in the FFA program, and he has a lot more things to share about him.
Good morning, teachers, parents, principals, administrators, Dr. Greenberg, Mayor Mann, and Mayor Bush. This is a wonderful ceremony. Thank you guys for having me here this morning. And it's my privilege to speak about Daniel Van Patten this morning. And I remember Daniel as a freshman. He's now a senior and he's getting ready to move on next year. And I remember Daniel walking through those doors on the very first day. I'll never forget the look on his face. He was a 9th grader and he looked lost. And so he comes through the door and I say, just find a seat, young man. It's going to be okay. He sits down and, you know, the first month of school, you know, we're getting acquainted with each other. Working things out in class, and so the events begin. I teach in the FFA program, the Agriculture Science program at Paris High School, and here goes Daniel's hand. Starts volunteering to get involved in extracurricular activities. And as a teacher, you know, one of our job is to prepare our students for the real world, to give them skills and to make them productive citizens. And so that's always your goal as a teacher, regardless of your subject matter. And so as Daniel began to volunteer for these things and show up after school to practices and to join some of our competitive teams in the FFA club, you begin to see this potential in a young man. And as you see him standing here confidently to my left, what a privilege to watch a young man develop that potential. And as a teacher, to be able to be a part of that, what an opportunity for me. I'm just so proud of this young man. He's accomplished so much. And what impresses me so much about Daniel today is his vision. He has clarity for what he wants in the future. He has a plan. And over the past 4 years, not only has he accomplished so much in my program, he's also accomplished so much at our school in the ROTC program. You can see that he's the battalion executive officer, and he is a leader. And as a freshman, when he walks into your classroom kind of lost, you know, you don't know what your students are going to do, but as a teacher and to be a part of the process of watching him grow over the years, he served as an FFA chapter officer. He was the chairman for our parliamentary procedure and debate team, which made it to state finals 3 years in a row. He, like Dr. Sheffield mentioned, he's a member of our state champion nursery and landscape team, which will be competing in Louisville in 2.5 weeks. He's just an incredible young man, and our program has gone through so much change over the past 4 years too, and Daniel's been a big part of that. Currently this year, Daniel is actually helping me coach our nursery landscape team this year. We got a new group of kids after our state championship last year, and he's actually helping to coach those kids and mentor those kids, and he has really stepped into that role. And I'm just really proud of that progress and really proud of Daniel. And so congratulations, Daniel, and we're expecting big things. And thank you for allowing me to be a part of your success. Appreciate that.
Hello, everybody. I'm, as you already know, I'm Daniel Ryan Van Patten. I'd like to introduce my mom, Christy Van Patten, or Adkins, and Donna Matheny, my grandmother, and my guest, Mr. Nearing. who is also my teacher. But my college and my career goals actually is something I've actually already started to work on. I just finished filling out my UC applications, and I'm applying to UC Davis, UCLA, and UC San Diego. My dream school right now is UC Davis because I am currently trying to get a scholarship from the Navy program to be a Lieutenant of the Marines, Semper Fi. And after that, after I serve my time, I would very much want to get out of the Marine Corps. And you know, when I'm nice and old, I like to teach kids, teach some students, and pass on the lessons that they gave me. My current school life, I can say, it's hectic. You know, senior year, there's a lot of application filling out, and a lot of work actually. Calculus is kicking my butt right now, but it's a really wonderful thing. You know, when I grow up and I graduate high school and I get out of the Marine Corps, I honestly want to move back to Paris and raise my family here because you know it's a wonderful small town for children to grow up in, and I think it provides an experience that no other high school really can. And my question. Share a personal story, so I'm just going to do that. My personal story, if you looked at me now and you looked at me back in the day, you would not see the same kid. Honestly, when I was in my elementary school years and my middle school years, I hated education. As cliche as it sounds, you know, you're the rookie that rises to the top and stuff like that, but I didn't like education. I lived in a place for 10 years of my life in Central America where education wasn't really required. I skipped school most of the day because I didn't want to go there. You know, the only time I went was when they had good food there, so. But, you know, through the years, my mom's been through it all. You know, I gave her the most trouble, I think, but, you know, she stuck with me. And I wouldn't be where I am without my mom. And I never really had a father figure, but Mr. Nearing has been there for me. And I'm happy I could be a part of this school, and thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Christy Van Patten. I'm Daniel's mom, and I really like to tell you this boy here has not ever really given me any problems. I mean, he's such a good kid, and I don't know where he gets it from because he sure didn't get it from me. And thanks to my, and I also got to thank my mom because she's really helped us out a lot because she let us move in after, you know, we didn't have very much, Daniel and I, but I don't know, all I can say is thank you guys very much for, I'm not very good at this, for recognizing him, and what else can I say? And I really want to thank my mother for putting her neck out for us, and just thank you, everybody.
And now I'd like to introduce Dr. Narciso Iglesias for Paris Lake High School.
You need napkins.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you, community. Thank you, family. We're here as one voice and one community. So this afternoon gives me great honor to recognize Stephen Price Anderson II as our Student of the Month. And this is an excellent opportunity. Don't let his mild-mannered way of being fool you. He's a great student and a great intellectual mind. So for me, when I'm recalling and I'm introducing Stephen, I think of Howard Gardner's research. And so he speaks about multiple intelligences. He speaks about visual. He speaks about kinesthetic and emotional intelligence. And he speaks about musical intelligence and mathematical intelligence. The more I got to know Stephen, the more I'm realizing this boy has so many things to offer us. My story about Stephen is musical intelligence. As his principal at Paris Lake High School, the school of second chances, third chances, fourth chances, multiple chances. I'm walking down the pathway there, and I hear somebody playing the guitar. I turn around, I see Stephen playing the guitar. Almost like a biblical reference where he's just soothing the audiences. He's just playing the music. He has a group of students around him, and he's just playing and playing and playing. Of course, I'm the principal, a little bit fun, and I start singing, "You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time." And this boy follows along. Doesn't skip a beat. I asked the music teacher or band player, "What does that mean?" He's in tune. He's in tune with you at all times, and he was. And we've done that quite a bit of times, just as fun. But his ability, his musical intelligence is incredible. And I'm seeing spatial intelligence. I'm seeing linguistic intelligences this afternoon with his parents and his family. I'm just amazed. So he has a lot to offer us, and great intelligence. Sometimes we see a person that's just mild-mannered, but he has a lot to offer us, and his mind is just incredible. So I'm so honored. So I'm going to have Mr. Benson speak a little bit more about this student.
I can tell that this microphone's not working, so I'm just gonna. Because no, actually, it's not on loud enough. But step forward. I'm also going to talk a little bit about music. For the record, I'm a social science teacher, but I have been a semi-professional musician for longer than I've been a teacher. But my first meeting with Stephen he was in my world history class last year, and Stephen's the student that walks in with his guitar. And I know that some of the teachers around the district don't particularly like that here. You got to put that up, but I let him play. It buys me a lot of credit in the classroom a little bit later on. But so Stephen starts to play, and I ask him if he knows anything about blues. Not exactly. It took most of the first semester, but then eventually he was able to play a blues chord, and I'll break out my harmonica and do a little jam with him, which buys a lot of credit with other students as well. But what really strikes me about Stephen is his determination, and I'm using music as the vehicle right now, but you are so determined. I see you at break and at lunch and before school with the Chromebook, watching YouTube videos, trying to get guitar riffs, and he does the same thing in the classroom when it comes to the work in the classroom. He comes in, he's determined, he gets the job done, and most of the time he actually gets done early. So, of course, the reward is he gets to take out his guitar and jam in Mr. Benson's class. So, very proud to not just be your teacher, but also to be a bit of a music mentor to you. And it would not surprise me if one day we're going to be going to his concert. So, and I found out just recently, as a matter of fact, just this last week, they're starting a band. Stephen and 3 other students, and so when you're ready to play, I'll be your opening act. It's my pleasure to introduce Stephen Anderson.
Hello, my name's Stephen Anderson II. I'd like to introduce my father, Stephen, my mother, Shannon Anderson, my little brother, Joey, my grandma, Barbara, and my sister, Savannah Anderson. And one of my favorite teachers that really influenced me the most and got through to my head, Well, I was chosen to represent Paris Lake High School because I have an intellectual mind.
Yes, you do.
One obstacle that I really overcome was a mental complication. I was really an angry individual. I was always mad all the time, got over little things too. I was really hot-headed, but I've conquered, my indignant judgmentation of life. I really flipped my life around and paid attention to school, and I got pretty much straight A's, and working hard to go to college and become an ASL interpreter to help better make people understand the American Sign Language as a whole. I didn't get chosen today because I studied hard or gathered a lot of information from books, I stood out as an individual among many others. Like, to me, intelligence is not cramming your brain with a whole bunch of facts and having advanced vocabulary or nothing. It's really putting down a shovel and thinking of why you're digging, metaphorically. And obeying orders doesn't really make you honest or innocent, and disobeying them doesn't make you mean you're like a defiant person. Quite frankly, I think it means that you're willing to ask the questions that no other individuals will be willing to ask. And I would like to thank the sponsors for supporting me. I'm kind of nervous, but thank you guys for the free meals and everything. Really thank all the people that helped put this bouquet together and everything. Like, our banquet together. I really appreciate it. But remember one thing that I want you guys to remember that I really like, that really helped my life, that happiness is always the key to life. So thank you and have a great day.
Hi, I'm just here to speak on behalf of our family, to say how proud we are of what Stephen has accomplished his last few years since he started at Paris Lake High. Plus he started the music. These are all things that he's done in the last few years, and they've made a difference in his attitude, his life, and we're just very proud of him. And we would like to thank all the sponsors today and thank the Paris Lake for choosing him. And we hope that in the future all the people that are being here today will go on to succeed in life. And we thank you again for all these things.
And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce from Heritage High School, the principal, Julie Zerold. Come on up.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to be able to talk a little bit about Melissa. She's an outstanding student. She's one of those kids that you wonder how she is able to keep everything together. I looked at all the lists of activities and clubs and different things that she belongs to, and I don't even know how she keeps track of it with a calendar with as much stuff as she is involved with. But what an outstanding student she is, very focused, just like many of our other students, has a very good path already chosen for herself, is very focused on what she is going to do in the end after college. She just has an amazing focus to what she wants to be when she grows up, what college she wants to go to. Currently, she's number 2 in our senior class with a GPA well over 4.0. She challenges herself with many AP classes and manages to do that on top of all these other clubs like National Honor Society. She's been an Avid for all 4 years. She's also one of our Link crew kids, and the list goes on and on. She's just an amazing student, very well focused, and has overcome some challenges throughout high school and has maintained her focus. So it's my pleasure to introduce Melina Gonzalez, who's her counselor, who's going to say a little bit about her first.
I always tell, every year I have a hard time when she sends the email, Ms. Zerold, about who am I going to nominate. I just have so many wonderful students, but Melissa always stood out because she's just, I've known her for a long time. I had her sister before this, so I've known the family for a very long time, wonderful family, and I think that's what the big thing about Melissa is, that she has a very wonderful heart, and every time I see her outside on campus, she's always smiling. She's always thankful, and she's always emailing me, and I'm so sorry to bother you, Ms. Gonzalez, you know, and I always tell her, you're not a bother. That's why I'm here for it. She's just always wanting to do the best, and being an Avid student, I depend on her a lot, and if I ever need anything, I know that she can always come up and take the role of anything, and she never says no. And one of the biggest attributes I have for her is the fact that she's a very hard worker, and she always takes that extra step that a lot of students don't do. And unfortunately, the fact that she's always grateful. And I think I owe that a lot to her parents. They're very, very Catholic Christian family, and very involved with the church. always volunteering her time. She's done over 200 hours. I don't know how she does it, makes the time to do everything, and when her family has gone through financial issues, she's gone and helped her dad weekends to help them financially. So it's just a very united family, and one of the things that I appreciate. And I think that as Heritage, I think it's important for students to see that, because a lot of our kids don't see that. They're not grateful for what they have, and I appreciate Melissa for carrying that on and continuing that, because that's important. As her counselor, I'm very grateful to have her, and I know she's going to go on and do great things. So I'm really, really proud of her.
Hi everybody, good afternoon. My name is Melissa Quijada. Well, yeah, we all received Chromebooks, so I was like, might as well, use it for the. I was like, right? Okay, so this is my dad, Alfredo Quijada, and this is my mother, Lourdes Quijada. Okay, well, before I begin, don't be scared, come close. Okay, so ever since I entered high school, I always came with this mentality where I always, because in middle school I always struggled with mathematics. Every time I came to, I got stuck on a problem, I would just start crying, or I would throw the book and be like, Mom, I'm done. Like, I hate math, I'm never going to do it, never again. That's how I came to high school, with like that mentality. But ever since, freshman year, and I always like saying the story, especially because I'm a link crew leader, and I like saying these to the freshmen that I get, and I'm not embarrassed to say it either, because the first 6 weeks of high school, I had a D in geometry. But once you get that sudden realization that, like, if I just spend 2 hours more on homework, or if you just look at the examples or even ask questions with teachers, it's so easy to understand things. And after taking the final for that class, I ended up getting an A in the class. I had a 95%. And that's where it just hit me, like, if I really put my mind into it, I can really achieve what I desire. And so these 4 years have been really difficult for me, especially of the sleep, because sometimes I would have to, wait until everybody went to sleep. That way I can have that perfect quiet time, or that way I won't fight with my sister of like, Natalie, turn your music down so I can study. Yeah, but hopefully it pays off. My primary university that I really hope to attend is UCLA. I'm in love with Los Angeles. Yeah, I'm in love with Los Angeles. I actually come from Los Angeles. And I just think that campus is so beautiful. It has the major that I really want to do too. And but also the other schools that I really want to go to is Notre Dame University and Brown University. I'm really studying those. I really want to go also to an Ivy League school if I have the opportunity. So what I plan to major in is mechanical engineering, which is kind of ironic because I hated math. But yeah, I know. And now I'm taking AP Calculus. I have a 99% in that class, so I learned my lesson a lot freshman year. And actually, once I finish mechanical engineering, I really hope to, and this is something that I really had to sit down and think about, because I always told myself, okay, the career that I want, since I sacrificed so much in high school, I want to do something, where I can get paid good and all this stuff. But then I started thinking, like, I don't want to wake up every single day being like, oh, I have to go to work. I just want to wake up being, yay, I'm excited, this is what I want to do. And actually, with mechanical engineering, and hopefully if I do get accepted into UCLA, there's this program called Imagineering, and that's working for Disneyland. And I feel like that's the perfect thing, because I've always grown up with this creativity, and I really love Disney, and I really want to create new attractions and everything. And I know I would be really happy with that job regardless of anything, I mean, it's Disney. And I'm very involved in school, as it was said before. I'm in a lot of different things. Right now, currently president of National Honor Society. I'm in academic decathlon. This is my 3rd year. I'm also in theater. I like acting, and we're currently working on our play called Pride and Prejudice. And I'm also in Link Crew. And also, I have to say, from all the clubs that I'm involved with, Link Crew is my favorite, because when I was a freshman, I really wish I had that mentor that can tell me, okay, don't be afraid of high school. Let me show you around the building. But I never really got that, so I had to learn that on my own. And now having these kids and, seeing how scared they are in high school, it's just, I feel great that I get to, like, teach them stuff, especially from my experiences. And I just think that whole organization is, like, a really good idea, and I'm really grateful that we started that in our high school, and we barely started that 2 years ago. And one of the questions that I'm going to answer, it said, like, the significant life lesson. And I was just going to say it, but I decided to type it up because I don't know if I'm going to get emotional or not, but hopefully not. We'll see. So So I said that the most significant life lesson that I have learned that I will take to college and use in life is learning to be appreciative, humble, and dedicated. Growing up in a decent home with my family, we have managed to overcome many hardships. From these hardships, I have learned to keep working hard and use it as a motivation to become more dedicated in my studies. Also, I have learned to become more appreciative towards my parents, and trust me, I'm not just saying that because they're standing right here. No, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I am today. Thus, learning to be more appreciative is definitely going to help me when I approach my college years, because I know that I won't have my parents with me 24/7 or side by side. And I also know that I must learn to neglect the desire for want. I should learn to be very hardworking and independent, because that's the good morals that my parents taught me. And additionally, I know that I have to continue being disciplined and dedicated in my work when I go to college, because after all, I won't graduate. I want to graduate knowing that I did my absolute best. And with that hope of one day repaying my parents for their generosity towards me. And I really want them to know, and this is the best opportunity to say so, is thank you, Mom and Dad, for all your sacrifice and your hard work. And I truly feel blessed that I get to call you my parents. So thank you, and thank you, everybody.
I think I had nothing to say. She said everything. So, I just want to thank everybody for being here and having us over here, teachers, principal, and of course our states, high school, the personnel. And so, what can I say about Melissa? She's such a hard student. We're proud of her. Beautiful girl. And she spent too much time sometimes, even I might have to say, can you stop a little bit? But she's a very dedicated person, and I'm proud of her, and I'm pretty much proud of this. Teacher will be too. I'm gonna be too. So, yeah, principal too. So I just want to say, thank you, Melissa, for being a hard-working person, being a hard student, and for all the hard work that you do. And of course, this is not for us; it's gonna be for you anyway. So we just want to say thank you, and we're here to support you in anything, and we're proud of you. We love you. God bless you.
This time, I'd like to welcome Sally Myers back up to the mic.
Thank you. I was really captivated today and was emotionally just taken by all of your humility and your sharing. It's not easy to share sometimes things from your heart, even with your family and your best friends, let alone come to an event like this with possibly 60 or so people in here that you don't know, and to be able to share from your heart. I think it's a great opportunity to grow and to be able to develop and to be able to also have that confidence and trust in who you are, that you truly are very genuine, authentic people, and you have a lot to offer and a great way to make a difference. So thank you for sharing. We appreciate it. I'd like to introduce Randy Hughes. He's on the outside of the room here. He is from Paloma Valley High School. He is our video tech guru. He has a number of students with him today. So thank you.
Have you guys seen enough of me today?
We like you, Randy. He brings a number of students with him. I'd like to introduce them to you now. On the cameras, we have Tevin Turner. Which one's Tevin? Hi, Tevin. How are you? Sierra Barnett, Miss Sierra, and Joseph Angelis back here. And there's 3 students out there with Mr. Hughes. We have the technical director, Austin Patterson, the video mixer, Derek Garcia, and the audio engineer, Nicholas Vasquez, I believe. So let's just give them a great round of applause. And so we really appreciate them. Randy is a very creative, video guru, and he's also very disciplined at the same time, and he brings these students in from Paloma Valley High, and when they leave, the way that they coil up the wires and put the cameras back in his truck is meticulous. They have to do it a certain way. Then they get to have their lunch. And they do get to eat lunch. So it is a lot of fun. And in fact, I get to usually enjoy my lunch with them as well. So we have a lot of fun. One of the things that I wanted to say when I was listening to Melissa and you used the word appreciative, one of the ways that all of you are going to be able to show your appreciation for our sponsors is by writing those thank you notes that you talked about. So please don't forget to write those, and really consider it an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to write that many thank you notes to our sponsors, because they come every single month to hear you. And I think about, I don't know how you all feel about this, but when I'm sitting over there listening, of course I'm taking like copious notes, and I think about how my life relates a little bit to each of your lives, and I'm sure you probably do that too. You think about, gee, I did that, I thought of that, or I wanted to think about that, or I was striving for that, and it's neat to be able to, for us at our age, whatever that may be, old, middle, or whatever our ages may be, but it doesn't really matter what age we are, because we still have vision, we still have to practice disciplines, we still want to make a difference. And everyone in this room, I truly believe, lives that in their lives. Otherwise, they wouldn't be contributing to this program. So they believe in you, and they really want to encourage you to continue to go on. And at the very end, I always finish with a mentor in my life and my husband's life. We wake up with listening to A Minute with Maxwell every morning. And the particular one that we're going to listen to today is on obligation. And I thought it would be a good one for us to be able to listen to. So hopefully, I know we've had a little bit of microphone challenge, but we'll see if we can hear it today.
Today's word is obligation. Hi, I'm John Maxwell. Welcome to Minute with Maxwell and Bob Dio from Rossville, Georgia.
Okay, so you really can't hear it. So I'm just going to tell you what he says, because I listened to it a few times this morning. He talked about obligation. And what he really means by obligation is that for some people, that could be a burden. You might wake up thinking, oh my goodness, I have obligations. And it might be sort of a turnoff in your life. But yet, the folks that truly develop leadership skills and leadership qualities recognize that every day we have certain obligations, whether we like them or not. And as we do those things that we are obligated to, whether it be in your community, whether it be in your job, whether it be in your family, and you do those things with diligence, you do them with a sweet pride, things that you know are good to be able to accomplish. What eventually happens after obligation is that it earns respect. It earns the many times more opportunities become available to you because of those obligations. And he says it really is a good word. And for a lot of people, whether young or old, for some people, an obligation is just a pain. And those are the people that never get anywhere. But obligations are really good. And it's how we start off our life in a young way. We're obligated to go to school. We may not be obligated to do well, but you certainly will have a lot more opportunities in your life if you accomplish those obligations with a positive and a sweet attitude. And so that is really what John Maxwell had to say. And my comment on that is, I believe that each one of you do realize the importance of obligations. And I know my husband, if he would be here today, he would tell you that even though we work 24/7 in our restaurants, which we are entrepreneurs, we own and operate our own group of Sizzler restaurants as franchisees, he will tell you, regardless if it is a great day where everything is going his way, or a challenging way where things just come up that kind of railroad you, he will still say that he's retired. And most people say, what do you mean you're retired? You're working every day. He says, that's right, because I love my work. I love what I do. He says, you can be retired at age 16, You could be retired at age 55 or you could be retired at age 80. The main thing is, do you love what you do? Do you love it with a passion? Even those obligations you can still love to do. And that's how I believe we can all make a difference and a positive impact on others by loving the things that we do around us. So with that, I guess I'll have to tell Dr. Maxwell that I had to improvise on his Minute with Maxwell today.
That was 2 minutes.
2 minutes with mine.
Okay, I might get fired. Anyway, that concludes our program, but yes, please.
Tell them about the video. They get it.
Yes, that you will be getting a complimentary video, absolutely. And what I really want you to take home with today is that you have been chosen for a reason. That you have been noticed by people on your campus and now by people in your community. We want you to continue doing the right thing. Come back to our community if at all possible. But wherever you may be, always remember that you will make a positive difference on others. Thank you, and may God richly bless you. We will conclude our program with the students going out front. Miss Sarah Rico will take a picture for the newspaper, and of course we want our mayors and our chamber representatives. We have our gifts over here so that you can grab your gift bags, and thank you very much. We'll see the rest of our sponsors in November. Thank you.